For 2025, I watched a total of 20 brand new shows that released throughout the year or that ended in the year. And while there was a lot that I didn't get to watch, like Wednesday Season 2, The Witcher Season 4, The Studio, and just a lot more, it does feel like that I still watched a lot. So let's rank at least the ones that I've watched. And in last place is unfortunately Harley Quinn Season 5. I do think that this was better than season 4, but yet there was still a lot of room for improvement, especially with how good the first two seasons were. At number 19 is Eyes of Wakanda, and with this, I thought it was okay. It was interesting to learn about the Wakandans back in the past, and I thought the animation was really good. I wasn't a fan of the animation art though, but with this one, I thought it was just okay. At number 18 is Creature Commandos. I'm including it in the list since it ended in the beginning of 2025. And with this one, it started off really good, but just how it ended, it just felt like a quick wrap up. It was still a fun series, I just like a lot of the other shows more. At number 17 is Gen V Season 2. While this does set up for the final season for the boys, it does feel like that they could have done much more this season. At number 16 is The Last of Us Season 2. And while I loved Season 1, with this one, it just felt like that some stuff was rushed and some stuff was missing. But the performances were really good throughout the series. It just could have done more. And not end in a cliffhanger that'll take 3 years to get a new season. At number 15, it's Ironheart. And this is one I do feel like gets a lot of unnecessary hate, but yet it was still pretty entertaining. It was fun. It was cool to see like the Iron Man side and the Doctor Strange side of the MCU mixed together. And how it introduced Mephisto was pretty awesome. At number 14 is Marvel Zombies. And with this one, it surprised me on how brutal it could be. At number 13 is Peacemaker Season 2. And with how much I loved Season 1, I do feel like with this season, it was a huge step down. It felt like that there just wasn't enough for the characters. And there were some decisions in this that I don't think necessarily worked. I feel like that there was a lot setting up to go into one direction, but yet it went into a whole different direction. And with how that season finale went, yeah, not great. At number 12 is Futurama Season 13 or Season 10. Whatever season this is. I love the Futurama series. Bender is one of my favorite characters. Bite his shiny metal ass. At number 11 is Stranger Things 5. With this final season for Stranger Things, it was messy. It could have been much better, but I do feel like that it at least stuck the landing, stuck it with the ending as the epilogue. It perfectly wrapped up everything. Just the epilogue itself was really the best part of this season. At number 10 is Twisted Metal Season 2. And with this one, it was bonkers. It was chaotic, but yet even more compared to Season 1. And it was just a lot of fun. This is probably the most underrated series there is for 2025. I hope they do more. At number 9 is Smiling Friends Season 3. And Smiling Friends pretty much taking over the world, and I am all for it. This season was still a lot of fun. At number 8 is Star Wars Skeleton Crew. With this series, it started in late 2024, but it did end in early 2025. And this was such a fun Star Wars series. It was a fun action adventure that took inspiration from the Goonies, Peter Pan, and just a lot of pirate projects. And it was just a lot of fun. It had a lot of heart. This was some great Star Wars content. At number 7 is The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3. And it is always great to get more of Daryl and Carol. And with this season, it just doesn't disappoint. It has a lot of great Walker kill moments, a lot of great moments with the characters. But hopefully we see Daryl reunite with Rick soon. At number 6 is Reacher Season 3. Alan Ritchson is just the man, and watching him as Reacher, it is just always entertaining. And with this season, it didn't disappoint. At number 5, it's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 1. And I thought that this was a fun Spider-Man animated series that does take inspiration from the MCU, but at the same time from the comics, creating its own thing in the multiverse of the MCU. And it worked. At number 4 is It, Welcome to Derry Season 1. And with this one, it caught me by surprise on just how great it was. From like the 60s version of the Lucha Club, but to getting Bill Skarsgård back as Pennywise himself, it's just amazing. He is brutal but phenomenal in the role. And it was so cool to see how this connects to other Stephen King projects. At number 3 is Invincible Season 3. And I loved the Invincible series, and I just love what this season did, just exploring more of Mark and just seeing the more brutal moments. It still was a really good season. At number 2, it's Daredevil Born Again Season 1. I love the original Daredevil series. It is my favorite show ever, and just seeing it come back with Daredevil Born Again was just amazing. Getting more of Charlie Cox's Daredevil, getting more of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. It was brilliant, and how this sets up for Season 2, how it sets up for the Punisher special presentation. It is just awesome. But the best TV show for 2025, and my favorite, is Andor Season 2. Just with what this season explored, what it showed off, it was just phenomenal. It was brilliant. And sadly, there were things in this that felt real. But seeing this more serious side to Star Wars with Cassian Andor, seeing the rise of the rebellion, it was just brilliant. A lot of things in this season stood out, and that is why it is the best one for the year. Overall, that is my ranking of all of the TV shows that I watched that released in 2025 or that ended in 2025. But what shows did you watch? What will be your ranking? What was your favorite show? What was your least favorite show? Let me know in the comments below and follow me for more.